Alright folks, what is up? This is One Big Bug and I'm coming at you with League of Legends. This time we're going back to Summoner's Rift with Junkyard Jungle Trundle. And my teammates, we have Sona, Doraven, Jax, and LeBlanc. Yes, these are all the friends I usually play with. We're against a Volibear top, Leona, Hakaram jungle, Caitlyn, and Ziggs mid. Now, Trundle is definitely one of my top 5 junglers that I love to play and that I'm actually pretty good with. But again, Trundle, he suffers kind of like Skarner, but for different reasons. He's a jack of all trades, master of none. That was interesting, but it fixed itself. I mean, he's good at a lot of things, but he doesn't truly excel at anything except for one, and that is he's a great brawler. You know, he can stand up in most 1v1 situations in head-to-head conflicts. Probably one of the, not the, but one of the strongest duelists in the jungle right now in terms of equal itemization. He can even be at a slight deficit and still stand toe-to-toe with other junglers who are considered fighters or brawlers. He's good at engaging, but not great. I mean, good. He might barely be on the good side, but he's good at going in. He's really good at disengaging. His ganks are okay if you get a good placement on his pillar. What he truly excels at in terms of being a fighter or a brawler is turning hard targets into squishy targets. So you can take a Shen, a Volibear, a Malphite, a Rammus, and you can just turn them into a real squishy target in terms of his ulti, plus his ability to steal your attack damage and add it to his own. That and his bite comes up off cooldown very quickly. Now in this one I am trying something a little different. I have gone with a Duran's Blade because Trundle has quite a bit of his own sustain in the jungle. So this is a less risky start in terms of what I'd normally do for somebody like Trundle. And as always, we're looking to invade the red, and as you can see, they never set guards here. Yeah, sure, guard the blue, but don't guard the red. So this is going to be an easy steal for us. But again, I'm going to suffer from the same problem with this as I typically suffer, and that is once I start like this, I usually don't press my advantage in the jungle and continue to counter jungle. Which, with somebody like Trundle, you really should. Much like Nunu, he's a strong counter jungler. He can kill camps relatively quickly after he gets even just a couple levels under him. And I'm actually going to try and gank on Volibear here, which is being very aggressive. And I do move in on him. I get the pillar up, but he's able to get around it. But even after a single bite, he flashes away. That momentary slow, and it's a very momentary slow, and Trundle does it without the red. He puts a very momentary slow on you when he bites you. Tends to throw people off, especially if they're not used to Trundle. And so they immediately tend to try and panic in regular and lower games. So able to force Voli's flash there was really good. So I'm going to turn and get the blue here and speed this up at least a little bit because I already feel like I spent too long. Normally I would go red to blue, but this time I went red to gank to blue. I figured by doing that Hakaram would have taken my red, but amazingly enough, actually he didn't. And first blood going into mid lane at LeBlanc right now. And I'm just going to wail away here on the reds. I'm going to go back. No, buying another Duran's Blade would actually not be a bad idea, but I don't. I buy boots instead and some pots. Honestly, I probably didn't need 4 pots. I could have gotten away with 2 because Trundle has a really strong sustain for the jungle. So by doing that, probably not the best idea in the world. I might have been able to go Duran's Blade instead, a second Duran's Blade, because Trundle's Pillar, if you get a good placement on it, and I'm looking to gank up on Volley again, I know Volley doesn't have a flash, and his heal may have been burned as well. So he's only level 5, he doesn't have his ulti, he's going to make a run, I'm going to place the pillar up in front of him, it's going to squash him into place, and then that's just going to be the end of him. He isn't his passive, but between me and Jax, we're able to burst him down beyond it and get the kill. I kind of wish I didn't flash, but whatever the case may be, I ended up securing the kill in the lane. I kind of was hoping not to, honestly. I wanted to give it over to Jax, because Volibear can be tough to deal with in the top lane. A good Volibear player can be a real pain in the neck to deal with, because Volley can be quite a bit of a bully. But either way, it's just fine. Jax did get an assist out of it. Volibear is out of the lane, so he's missing experience. The lane is in Jax's favor right now, so not too terrible. Hecarim is around my jungle area, although I don't know it. I don't have wards. I do see he goes in on LeBlanc, and I want to try and get there to help, but LeBlanc's able to disengage without any problems because, well, let's face it, it's LeBlanc, and they made her probably the most mobile champion in the game, and this is just present showing. I'm not actually going for a gank on Ziggs there. I was just present showing. I don't know how effective it is, but it's kind of like, yeah, your jungler ganked my person, so let me show you that I'm here too, so that you remember that I'm here, and hopefully make them a little more timid. You say, well, why would you want that? You want them aggressive so they push up and gank. Not always. Sometimes making them scared will keep them from going to nail down a play that they otherwise might have gotten. And our bot lane is pushing a really good advantage right now as well, as they're pushed up. They got a nice ward placement, so they're pretty safe. Yeah, Hecarim, yeah, that's the problem with Hecarim there. Hecarim, much like Rammus, can come from nowhere. And as you see, even though with a gank up top with Hecarim, Jax, my nephew Kekalike, manages to pull out a kill and drive back Hecarim. So that's kind of how it goes. Now I'm trying to come in. I don't want them to see me. I want them to continue to try and press the advantage because Caitlyn's low. I ignore Caitlyn and I go straight for Leona, but then there's no need. Despite netting away, my bite still went off and managed to take Caitlyn down. So Draven was saved and we turned them both back. Ziggs surviving with barely a sliver of health, unfortunately. But I'm 2-0 right now. As you can see, I still have 2 health potions, so I really didn't need the health potions that I bought. But c'est la vie. Man, Ziggs versus LeBlanc, man, that's going to be a tough matchup for Ziggs, just because of LeBlanc's mobility. And unfortunately, somehow, Volibear manages to kill Jack's top, Kekalike, so I'm not quite sure what happened there. Usually once the lane is set in motion for my nephew, it stays in that motion. But again, Volibear not to be underestimated in the top lane at all. And hopefully there's not too much breeze noise so I don't end up doing this over again. But, you know, we shall see. So I do pick up the Phage. The new Phage works on Trundle just as well as the old Phage did, the speed boost. Although they're currently nerfing it. I just read where they're going to nerf the Phage a little bit, where it's only going to give half the speed boost amount to range, which means Corki, who was starting to find favor again as an ADC, may not stay that way. I wanted to go top, did not change my mind, decided to get blue, and this time, much probably to Evil Bunny's surprise, I'm actually giving it to him. I'm often very selfish with the blue buffs. As a jungler, I will often take them for myself because there is no rule that says I have to give them to you. So the lane kind of being reset top, even though Jax is still a level ahead. I'm coming up on the side where hopefully Volley can't see me, and a well-placed pillar causes Volley to flash. He is healing. He is in his passive, I think. But with my ulti, I'm just able to take away his stats, and I'm able to keep enough of, pull enough of those stats in myself to tank the turret, right to the point where I almost died, but I got out and we end up getting another kill for top lane. So 5-1 right now with slightly more than a 2k gold lead. It's looking pretty good in the early game. Let's see, our bottom lane, our Draven's at 50 CS, and so is Caitlyn. So Caitlyn's a little bit ahead right now because Draven did die. I thought Draven lived, but I figured he died, but I guess he died in that one. Volibear is actually managing to stay fairly close in CS. It's not too far behind, but with 3 deaths to 1, you know, he's struggling in that lane as well. Hecarim has been mostly ineffective. You see my itemization over his. Yes, I am going Trinity Force Trundle. It's a very expensive item to go on Trundle, but it's not a bad item to go on Trundle. And they do engage here, which is what I was waiting for. And it's going to be very easy to just eliminate Leona there. And I ulti Caitlyn, and I just keep going. I'm intending to tower dive, but she uses her net, and she flashes, and she barriers. So we got her flash and her barrier out of that. With my ulti on her, I'm pretty sure she figured out I was going to dive. And with a flash and barrier, she got too far away. I decided just to back it off because my ulti wasn't going to last that long. But we killed Leona, and we got all the summoner spells from Caitlyn bottom. So very, very successful gank at that point. There's more jungle farming in red. I do buy wards more often, and I do actually tend to use them more often. I don't know if this is one of those games where I use them, but I do tend to use them more often. So, like if somebody says, oh, place a ward here, I do not have a problem picking up a pink ward and going and placing it. And I do place a pink ward here, but unfortunately it is out of sight of Voli's ward, and I can't find it. So that's really bad. His ward, as you can see, is in the bush here. So that didn't help me at all. But it gave Jax even more ward vision. So it's not a terrible thing. So I haven't had to worry about mid. Mid's been brutalizing. You know, bot has had its issues, but I've been there to help turn it around. Top is just snowballed into Jax mode at this point, and I see that Evil Bunnies is wanting to move bot. I don't know why he's going around the tower. I was going to head down there, and I guess I changed my mind. Ziggs is in the area as well, so this is not looking like the best proposition. We can quick see what's going on over there, as she is actually able to get Caitlyn, but unfortunately Ziggs is there. But Ziggs actually helping to save her almost. And look at that, just dashing out. And yeah, that's LeBlanc for you. just, I mean, Ziggs did help by knocking her away. But, you know, then the mines just dashed through, missed his ulti, and LeBlanc walks away with a kill in a 3v1 situation. You know, that mobility. Now, truthfully, I should really be pressing my advantage when it comes to Hecarim. Hecarim has not had a successful gank. He's been in the jungle almost completely. I do want to get Dragon right now. Caitlyn's not here. I don't know where Hecarim is, but it really shouldn't matter. We're just going to pound away. They do have a ward here, but they're not going to get here in time to contest the dragon. You know, we're just too fast. You know, Trundle is really good at taking dragon as well. So, like I said, he excels at so many things. There's just something, and honestly, I can't place my finger on it with him, that keeps him from being chosen for competitive play. And I think maybe it's his lack of CC. You know, because kind of like the CC tanky jungler, or the incredibly bursty jungler, much like maybe a Zed or Kha'Zix, tends to be more popular. And I almost ended up taking blue there. I was actually hammering on the S key to get my Trundle to stop attacking, and it almost didn't happen. But yeah, going Trinity Force Trundle, like I said before, is very expensive. But overall, if you get a Trinity Force, you don't need much else to be effective. It gives you defense, it gives you offense, it gives you sustain, it gives you all kinds of stuff. So it's really beneficial in a case like Trundle's. So I started moving bot to help, but the bot is far enough ahead now where they're able to just handle things on their own. So at this point, I should be pressuring Hakaram. I should be in his jungle almost continuously, but this is not something I do. And this is one of my major weaknesses when it comes to being a jungler. I don't counter jungle enough. You know, I usually will go for that one early invade, which in normals, whether they be draft or just regular blind pick, they hardly ever set a guard. But with the advantage that I have right now, with a Phage and with a Zeal, plus the Duran's Blade, versus Hakaram, who's only got a long sword and the Spirit Stone, with the boots there, he's got better boots than I do, of course. I've been holding off on boots because I got the Zeal, and that helps make up for the lack of move speed, plus the Phage, which will help me stick to targets. So, yeah, I don't see what... Yeah, I was going to go back and realize my red is up. I don't know why I didn't just go into Hakaram's jungle and start taking jungle creeps and bullying him around. Because at this point, there's no way. There's absolutely no way Hakaram could stand up to me. But for whatever reason, I just don't. But yeah, when it comes to Trundle, man, I really think it's his lack of CC that maybe holds him back. I mean, I can't think of anything else. He's a good fighter. He's a decent ganker. He has a really good jungle clear. He has great sustain. He's good at diving. He's good at disengaging. It helps if you had a good engager or pseudo-engager, which in this game we have Jax. We have Leona. And we even have LeBlanc. So... say LeBlanc engage. Well, yes, LeBlanc dives in, does her combo, backs out, and all hell breaks loose. So we have so much of that I don't know why we're not doing anything else. And this time I was able to find Volibear's ward and take it out. I wanted to try and get in and get an assist with Volibear there. But it didn't work out. I wanted to just put my pillar up. Usually if you get your pillar up, I think you can get an assist out of it. So we just obliterate the tower up top in no time. It's actually decent time to start pushing down towers at the 20-minute mark. Sometimes pushing down early really helps, but in some games you kind of want to hold on to your tower and get that farm up. Now, Hakaram's bottom right now, along with like everybody else. And I'm actually trying to hurry up down in that area. And I run into Ziggs, who really doesn't bother me. Hakaram starts coming up, but I don't go that way. And there's not much I can do right now. I know Hakaram's gone into his jungle. They can see me right now. Their ward is there. But I just wanna size up Hakaram at this point. I'm a level ahead of him. And I try and pillar where I think he's going to go, but he doesn't. And as you can see, Hakaram wants nothing to do with me. He wants absolutely nothing to do with me. He doesn't want to fight me. There's no way he could stand up to me right now. So he just backs out. Unfortunately, it pretty much doesn't work for him. As you can see here, LeBlanc just picks him up. Evil Bunny's just going in and go, "Oh, hi Hakaram, you're dead." So, I don't know if I got an assist off that. I didn't look at the kill screen. So, Hakaram's not a threat to me. All lanes have swung in our favor. We're 13-2. We have a good 8,000, almost 9,000 gold lead at this point. It would take a lot of organization. See, the enemy team, as far as I can tell, actually has what it takes to make a good push. They have the Ziggs ult. They have the Hakaram initiation with his ulti. They have Leona ulti. They have Volibear initiation. They actually have a decent team. But they've been beat back and pushed back so much that there's no way they can even stand 1v1 anymore. So at this point, they should be grouping up and trying to force objectives, pushing towers, split pushing, you know, maybe 3-2 or 4-1, things like that, and it's just not happening. Leone here, I don't know what she was thinking, and she just gets annihilated. And Caitlyn's coming in, Zig ult, yeah, that's not going to work. Although it almost worked because I didn't smite. I figured the Zig ult had like no chance of taking it, and fortunately it didn't, but actually I was almost wrong. That was a pretty poor gamble on my part, and we take their mid turret now, and I'm just like wailing away. I actually have more than enough for Trinity Force at this point, I'm almost positive. Or I'm very close to getting it, and I'm just picking up the last dregs of gold to be able to pick it up. One or the other. So there we go. I have the full Trinity Force now. Jax is just going house.
Shut down.
He does get shut down. Although Hecarim gets taken out as well. I might be looking to try and split push at this point, or try and push bottom lane. As a jungler, this is something I'll often do depending on who I'm playing. I'll start pushing another lane as a jungler to try and pull attention my way. Just, I don't know, it sets up for other lanes. You know, it forces somebody to come and respond, if not two people, to come and respond to deal with me. Now, I want their blue, and I really don't realize who's here when I start doing this. But this is Trundle's flash away. I'm exhausted. I put a pillar in my own path, but it's still enough. I grab an ulti, so I'm sapping stats, and I'm regenning at the same time, and I'm able to just walk out of that. Granted, I had to use everything I had to get out, but I was able to get out. Despite the fact that, I'm pretty sure that, we stole that. No, Zig's got it. I thought we stole that, but I guess not. LeBlanc is looking for a pick-off, man. And almost gets it. It was so close. And then Draven's just got so much chunk right now. And then here comes Sona. And looking like a tower siege at this point. Like I said, there's really not much they can do to just look at that chunk, and it just explodes under the tower. And then Caitlyn goes as well. Volibear tries to charge in, but a beautiful stand aside by Draven makes sure that doesn't happen. Meanwhile, Jax up top here, my nephew Kekaulike, just pushing like a monster, heading for the inhibitor, forcing Volibear to respond that direction, which leaves only Ziggs and Hecarim up in this area here. And oh, I'm sorry, that's a surrender. I was like, why isn't my screen moving? That's right, they surrendered at that point. They just got totally brutalized. Everything had swung in their favor, 18-4. I don't think, in truth, it was unwinnable for them, but it was pretty close. So the surrender really wasn't a surprise. Again, Trundle, like I said, he's got so many tools at his disposal. He's got that one little thing, that one tiny spark, and I don't know what it is. He's missing that one little piece of the puzzle that keeps him from being a mainstream pick. And it's really depressing because I love Trundle. It's like Trundle and Skarner. I love them as junglers. I love playing them. They're fun to play. They're really good. They're really strong. But they miss that one little thing that makes them a good jungler versus something like a Maokai or a Nautilus or Jarvan or even a Master Yi at this point. You know, there's just that one thing that just is like, ugh, it's frustrating. You know, with Skarner, I really think it's the fact that he has major mana issues, plus they nerfed his initiation some. With Trundle, though, I can't put my finger on it. I don't know what it is he's missing that just keeps him from being a lot more popular than he is. So there you go, folks. There's that. And that's going to do it for me on this one. I hope you've enjoyed watching this as much as I've enjoyed bringing it to you. Do not forget to rate, comment, and subscribe. Until next time, this is One Big Bugga signing out, and I will see you then.